The South African Army has been deployed to four of its provinces after 21 trucks were set alight on national roads in various parts of the country over the past week. Drivers were forced out of their vehicles at gunpoint by assailants who then set the lorries on fire. The violence has been linked to disputes over coal contracts.
Five suspects have been arrested so far in connection to the truck violence and are expected to appear in court today, Monday. The latest in a wave of arson attacks has cost the country more than 18 million rand in the past week. The Road Freight Association, RFA, says these attacks will have a negative long-term impact on the country. This morning, we're joined by the National Chairperson, Youth Desk of Truckers Association of South Africa, TASA, Mr. Tony Mudisa. Good morning, and thank you very much for joining us.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
First of all, we must extend our condolences at this point. Thankfully, there are no lives lost and no injuries, but these attacks are not very good looking. It's not a very good thing to witness and discuss. But talk to us about why these attacks are happening now. Do we have reasons and connections? Have the police unveiled or unearthed investigation that can give us a clearer picture as to why these attacks have happened?
Look, this attack has been going on since year 2000, rather 2020 to so next thinking that year 2020, and then they've been more focused on these people trying to get some sort of attention from the government. These are the drivers. There are certain things that they are not pleased about. So these things that have not been pleased about. And they seem that the government is not able, or rather is being a little bit too slow in terms of addressing them. And for that fact, over the years, we saw the government as well in South Africa Department of Transport setting up a task team, the task team within the Ministry of Transport to try to address these issues. And then we were hoping at this point these issues would have been addressed, but then it seems like the truck drivers are still not pleased with what has been coming out from the task team. Hence, they figured they decided to go back into the streets and try to affect the economy, to try to get attention, of which this is literally setting back the operations, or rather the supply chain, not only in South Africa but then throughout multiple regions in Africa. They are targeting specific routes like your N3, the N2, including the N4, which are not only supplying goods in South Africa, but in multiple regions throughout the SADC up and towards the East Africa and the West Africa, including North Africa. So this has been some sort of a setback within the economy of South Africa and also within the supply chain network.
That's heartbreaking. Of course, it looks like economic sabotage, but I'm sure that the suspects who have been arrested will be able to, provide more details as to what exactly is the reason behind these attacks, if they're found culpable. But I want to talk about, the loss so far. About 18 million rand is reportedly lost as a result of these incidents. How do you think these companies will be able to recover their losses and, get back to business?
Yeah, being a chairperson of the youth desk, I represent a lot of smaller operators or other truckers within the country. And these losses are going to be some sort of a huge setback, most especially around the actual operation of the smaller operators. If a truck is burned, you don't immediately get to be able to claim from insurance. And those are just some of the setbacks. Some of the companies will lose contracts. Some of their companies will lose their operational ability. Some of the companies will also not be able to recover ever again. And when it comes to the economy, there's a huge loss, most especially around our ports in South Africa, being some of the biggest ports in Africa, whereby we will start probably losing some sort of business. Business will be going into other areas or other countries, which is some sort of a direct cost into the economy. One truck, we're looking at a cost of around 3 million rand to a region of 10 million rand. And then if we are looking at the number of 20 trucks that are currently being burned, the costs are a little bit higher than we anticipated. And also the economic cost as well, which is quite significant at this point. We are looking at the regions of billions of rands that have been lost within the days of these trucks that have been happening.
All right, I'd like you to talk to us about what the suspects so far have shown us concerning these attacks, and also to give us an insight into the role that ATDF played. We don't know, is there any connection to the role that the ATDF has played? We know that in 2019, I believe, they had given a notice saying that all foreign truck drivers, undocumented foreign truck drivers, leave South Africa. And there have been a number of attacks in this case. Is there any possibility that the ATDF may maybe be linked to these attacks? And is that, is there adequate protection made for these truck drivers going forward?
We wouldn't know who is directly involved. I believe that the law or the SAPS will have more clarity in terms of who exactly is involved. The good thing is there are a couple of suspects that have been noticed by the SAPS, and then including the those that have been arrested recently. I think we will get more clarity on that. But then at this point, we're not sure who is involved, and we wouldn't want to speculate at this point, as it won't give any form of clarity in terms of what is directly happening. We prefer the SAPS, or rather law enforcement, to take its course and to make it a point that they do achieve what they are supposed to achieve. What we want to see as the private sector, we are looking to see peace within the private sector, so we are able to operate freely, and then we able to distribute goods within different regions or other areas, same as we've been previously, without having this type of challenges anymore.
Okay. Of course, Police Commissioner Becky Selle has said that these persons should be properly investigated and prosecuted because of the damage that has been caused so far. I want to talk about the truck drivers themselves. Have you spoken with any? Are there certain things that they have decided to start doing to protect themselves? Would we see truck drivers, now being armed or moving with extra security? And of course, since the arrests that have been made, is there still reports of any attacks on trucks?
Look, everyone is uneasy at this point, and uneasy in a sense of there's some sort of there's some sort of a psychology that has been affected by these drivers. I mean, majority of the drivers that we came across, those that are affected, they are worried in terms of how they're going to work moving forward. So they'll be worried if something is going to happen, or thinking that something might happen. So everybody's not at ease, because they are banning each and every truck. They don't choose whose truck are they banning, or rather which truck are they attacking. So you could imagine it's winter, and some of the truck drivers have been kicked out of their trucks. They've been banned, and they've been thrown into running into the forex in this cold. So there's some sort of a psychological or other emotional things that we have to attend to as well, most especially around the different truck drivers, because it's not easy at an emotional level. And then also there's just those emotional traumas that some of the drivers will start suffering moving forward. Those that have experienced and those that haven't as well. There's that emotional trauma that is currently affecting them. Paying attention to those that we had conversation with, and those that had experienced, and those that didn't experience it at all. So it's a worry in terms of what is going to happen at night.
We cannot ignore the fact that these attacks happened on the anniversary of the July 21 protests and the July 21 unrest. That was as a result of Jacob Zuma's arrest, right? And now this is happening. There's also been an update with the Jacob Zuma case, and he's been asked to go complete his term in jail. Are there maybe concerns that this might in some measure be related to that announcement? And, are there fears that there might be a continuation of this?
I doubt there's a link in these instances. If we can pay attention to the 2021 June unrest, what was happening is there was looting. Now at this point, nobody is looting anything. It's a matter of people trying to get attention of the government. Now, these are different instances, and I don't see the link in them, most especially around something that had happened before, even before the June 2021 unrest. We already had truck driver strikes in 2020 before the unrest. So I don't see there being any link or whatsoever. But then we just know that it is disgruntled truck drivers who are trying to get attention of the government.
All right.
Thank you very much for your time with us this morning. We hope that we can see some finalizing to this situation, that the investigations do yield results, and that we can see that this ceases from happening again. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me.